Great to see you all here after the holiday break. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, I would like to tell you a story tonight about building communication between two people, and I name this Building Bridges. At the time of this story, this was to overcome some significant differences between myself and a young child. When I was 14, I decided to become a summer camp counselor. I volunteered to become a camp counselor. And we had all of the normal camp activities you can think of, such as swimming, horseback riding, and canoeing. But what was different about this camp was that all of the campers, all of the children, were special needs children. In order to care for the special needs of the children, all of the counselors were paired up one-on-one with the campers. And we had quite a range of campers with different abilities. We had children on the autism spectrum, deaf, blind, emotional needs, and developmental needs of different types. In one particular week at camp, I was paired up with Jesse. And Jesse was brought to camp with his foster mother. I learned from his foster mother that he had been through 8 different foster homes in the young 11 years of his life. He was diagnosed with failure to thrive, which is a general term for developmental delays. And in his case, this was the result of malnutrition at an early age. Another factor about Jesse was that he was nonverbal. So this created extra challenges for us to communicate that week. That first night of camp with Jesse, we got settled in at the cabin, and we went down to the cafeteria to get some dinner. And as soon as we got there, I see us walk into the cafeteria, and my jaw drops to see that Jesse starts grabbing food and pushing plates out of the way. While I try to stand in the way to stop this from happening, he starts to hit me and kick me. So I was shocked. I didn't know what to do, and I called for other counselors to come help. We ushered him out of the dining hall, and we were able to bring him to a safe area. We didn't eat much that night, and I was quite dismayed. We put him to bed and decided to just start again the next day. So the next morning, with a fresh start, I get Jesse ready in the morning, and we head down to the cafeteria to get some breakfast. But before we enter the dining hall, I didn't want to repeat what happened the night before. I first gave him a glass of juice, and he drank a little bit of this, and then proceeded to throw up. In the midst of this, he is still pinching and scratching me and clearly is unhappy. So this was a really hard time for me. I didn't know how to handle the situation completely. And I talked to other medical staff and other counselors about what may have been happening. Clearly, Jesse was unhappy, and it seemed perhaps his behavior was showing he wanted to go home. Perhaps because of his history of different foster homes, he was feeling abandoned. So I knew that it was important to push through this and continue to show him attention and care and love that would help him through this time, and hopefully he would improve. Through the middle of the week, Jesse did start to improve, and he was having more fun with the camp activities. One of the ways that we communicated that week that turned out to be really special was that he created a sort of game. He did a few things in sign language, and he signed music and baby. So whenever he would sign one of these things, and I would say what it was, he put up his hands and got so happy and so excited that I was communicating what he wanted. Another memory that I have was a time that between some camp activities, and we were sitting down for a break, he decided to point to my shirt. It was this shirt here that he would point to things like archery or horseback riding. And when I would say what it was, he again put up his hands and got so excited that we were able to communicate about what he was wanting at camp. And it was these games and laughter that really connected us. So while we started the week with some rough issues, some behavioral issues, and him seeming to be perhaps sick, we ended the week with a really happy note. Jesse turned out to be very happy in the last few days of camp, and we really bonded over this. So I'm happy to say that with this story and the connection that I made with Jesse, I can realize that by building these bridges of communication through games and laughter, things that may go beyond verbal communication, we can begin to make a difference in each other's lives. So let's just